Here we go. Another edition of The Vital Wire. Dr. Lindsay's over here trying to get her chair situated. She feels like she's very
taller
upright
today.
We've got a tall chair and a short chair. We're going to jive today on another edition of The Vital Wire. All right. Well, October.
Yep.
It's been a busy month of October.
Mid-October.
Mid-October.
I don't know where September went.
We went from like July to October in a hurry.
Just slid on past, which is fine. I love this season. I love fall. I love the weather. I just don't want to move through it too fast.
Blues just started last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they play tonight. Fall is just a great season for a lot of different things. Super excited to dive into our topic for the day and more of changing season, moving into maybe somewhat of an off season. Some people are going to think I'm crazy because this also brings a season of, yes, the holidays and, what do you mean off season? We're more busy. But I think as a whole, I feel like this is a great time. What I love about fall is the weather changes, and almost that alone almost forces you to slow down a little bit or in some fashion, right?
Yeah.
And I love fall as families start to get together. There's some outside sports. You're cuddled up in blankets on the sidelines, but you're also transitioning into the holidays and into a new year. So super fun time. How do you feel about fall?
I love fall. Fall, I wish it could be fall year round. I
love that hat.
We're both sporting hats today. I love fall because of the weather. My husband loves fall because he's a big football nerd. He loves football. Doesn't matter the team, he will watch it. So he loves the season. It's bowling season for him. So
you lose him for a night a week?
Yeah. Yeah, we have girls' night. And that's something that he really looks forward to all year is bowling season for him because he was an athlete at heart. And so now he's moved into these more sports that he can play later in life that doesn't...
You calling him old? Is this
old? Leisurely sports, I would say. He won't like that.
It's a reason to drink beer. Let's
be
honest.
I was going to say, a sport he can drink beer while doing is what he's moving into. But... Bowling is a sport, much like golf, that a lot of people enjoy, and it still takes a toll on your health. And this is a season for him that we actually ramp up his care because of what it does to his body. But I love fall because it means a lot more family time. So for him, bowling league is with his family. We spend a lot of time outside doing bonfires, going to pumpkin farms. It just seems like there's a lot to do with your family, and I love that. Yeah.
So, and it's also... racing's coming to an end for us, for my family. A lot of people are quickly knowing that's what we do. Like some people go to the lake. Some people, we've talked about this before, we race, but that season for us is coming to an end. So it is recording day here is October 18th. So next weekend is the last race of the season for us. So my wife's all about, if we could race 8 days a week, this gal would have me race 8 days a week. Like she loves it, loves bringing the kids.
She's a catch.
Yeah, she's a catch. Yes, yeah. Green to checkered. I'm very blessed. But it's also moving into a season of off season for that. And this is where the analogy is going to come in for this episode. And much like you talked about, moving into the fall and setting up care differently and slowing down and taking care of yourself during an off season. So we're moving into an off season with that. So this is a time for me where I start working on this thing. I'll tear it all down. Like all the panels come off, all the front end parts, the rear end comes out of the car. Like this thing is bare naked chicken sitting in the garage. Like this thing is a cold rack of bars just sitting on the floor in the garage. But for good reason. And it's to really start setting up for the next year. Look over the car, see what's been damaged, or maybe fix some things that I know are going on that I've put off to the off season and strategically planned for. So this is a great time where we want to start talking people into literally falling into health, not out of it. And taking care of ourselves in the same manner. and starting to really look into our off season, so to speak. And I get some people's lifestyles, some of their seasons are going to be different, where maybe they are more busy. So vibe with us here, right? Take us.
Well, and I think that can be true for a lot of people that have kids in sports, fall sports. It's the season is maybe coming to the end or starting to slow down because holiday season is coming around the corner, and those kids are starting to think, well, this is my break. But a lot of times that is a good chance for them to start preparing for the next season or the next sport. A lot of them do spring sports too, and making sure they don't slack off and spend the rest of Christmas break sitting on the couch playing video games.
Right, right. So just giving yourself the opportunity to really start setting yourself up for the next year in this season change, whatever it is, and going into the holiday season healthier, taking time for yourself, because it's also really easy to get wrapped up in like, we're already thinking about Thanksgiving.
Stressed out.
And it's like, oh my gosh, I've got 46 family members coming. I need 2 turkeys and this and this. And all of a sudden you make this a 3-week binge of just being busy.
Yes.
And so it's like, holy cow. And you forget to take care of yourself in what could have been a great opportunity for an off season.
Well, and that's a great way that you're saying that. You forget about yourself, because a lot of people get out of their normal routine when the holidays come around too. They stop exercising. They stop using their, following their, I don't want to say diet, but their nutrition plan. They start thinking about filling their time with all the other things and feeling like, I need to be shopping, I need to be preparing, I need to be cleaning my house. And then you forget about your 6 a.m. cycle, biking ride or whatever that might be.
It's like
for
a lot
you.
of people feel like they're like, man, during this season where they're running gun, during the summer and during the spring, they're really up and going. And it's like, they feel bad when they're like only 70 or 80% to the good. Where I feel like exactly what you're saying is such a good point, to where all of a sudden you're like feeling you're 50% or less because you're letting all of these things get back in the way.
Yeah, and those things are so good for your body, obviously, because you want to keep up those routines if you're on a track of weight loss, or you're trying to prepare for an upcoming race, if you're a runner.
Love that you said track. You said track. I heard it.
But at the same time, that helps your body digest, and you're going to be eating a lot more food potentially as you come around. Everyone has all of those Thanksgivings, and you're trying to shove them all into one day, and you're eating like 4 meals instead of 2 or 3.
So, and you bring up a good point. I'm totally going to cut you off here because I don't want to forget this, because like I tell you guys, I head down the back straight away and forget what I was thinking. So here we go.
Go.
You talk about eating more food, and yes, enjoying that, the comfort food, spending time with your family. Here's I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag here. The flu in health, this is not a sick season. It's really not. And we've been cultured to think that, and it's like, oh, going into sick season, it's like, well, hang on a second. I just want to bring some realistic ties to why it seems we are more sick and less energized during this time of year.
Yeah.
And this is why it's so important to take care of yourself now, strip the car down, figure out what's wrong, or start fixing those things now. Here's why that happens, is because Halloween. What do we eat on Halloween?
All the candy.
All of it.
If you're me, I'm looking for the Smarties and the Milky Ways. Oh, those are my
Milky Ways?
The Milky
Is
Ways.
it the chocolate or is it the caramel?
It's the caramel.
Me too. So I'll go Snickers and I'll go Reese's. Those are my jams. But at the end of the day, we all know that is a shit ton of sugar. Sugar. I will tell you right now, sugar does no good for your body, ever.
No.
If you never ate sugar again, like our body processes certain things down into sugar, simple sugars, and metabolizes it. But those sugars also feed other things that are a detriment in your health, which also lead to more sickness, illness, sinus infections, flus, and things like that. It feeds on that stuff.
Yep.
So then we cruise on into Thanksgiving and we eat the turkey. Well, that's healthy, Doc. It's
carb
turkey.
load.
And yeah, what else do you have the turkey? Well, about 16 rolls and about 14 different pies and cakes.
And potatoes, all the potatoes.
And I'll tell you what, we are not perfect. I am not judging anybody. We would not do that because guess what? If there's cold apple pie, you can rip me for this. I'm going to see comments for this. Cold. My mother-in-law, God bless her, my mom does this too. They will make a whole entire apple pie. My dad will eat it with ice cream and stuff his face with it. Mine instantly gets about a quarter of a piece of this pie. It goes into the freezer so it cools down as fast as possible. I like cold apple pie. Judge me, don't care. So we're not judging you because we do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I just want to make the correlation of, if you haven't heard of that, that's why we are more sickly or apt to be sick during that season. Is because of all the carbs, which break down into sugar. And then all the sugar that we're eating the whole time, exercising less, out of routine, less water, more beer, more whiskey during having the nightcaps or
Wine.
the drinks with the family, wines. Red wine is a great option. Just a glass or two, not a bottle or three.
Not the whole bottle of Moscato.
So I just wanted to touch on that because I want everybody to know that there's things that you can do. Start taking care of yourself now. So when you do overindulge, your body is set up to hopefully recover faster or really mitigate even the possibility of being sick because you set yourself up on the front end to be successful in your health. So go ahead, overindulge. I'm just going to set myself up a little different on the front end.
Yeah. And like you said, we're going into that season that people like to call it. So what my family does different that maybe your family might do too, elderberry becomes like a normal staple in our daily activities. Glycans, if you don't know what those are, we can touch on that a different day, but glycans, look them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And apple cider vinegar is in constant rotation in our house. It's great for everything.
Kombucha?
Kombucha, yes. And I am one of those people that if I feel anything coming on, like a little sinus, a little scratch, just garlic.
Yes.
Garlic. Oh, I can tolerate it. I'm Italian. We like garlic on everything.
Yeah, us too.
So I can just chew on a garlic clove, and that was like my saving grace when I was pregnant, because I knew that I didn't want to be taking anything else, but that helped with the sinus drainage at that time.
Onion too.
Oh yeah. I'm not as big on onion, but the garlic I can do all day long.
I'm pretty sure my kids would eat an onion like an apple. Like anywhere we go, it's like they get vegetables. Like they'll be like, you guys want an appetizer? You want something for the kids? Yeah. Can we get like a couple pickles and like half an onion? And they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah. Well, you don't want like this? I'm like, no, it's like too much sugar. Like these kids like vegetables. There's a reason for that. Like, but I think they would. I think they just take it.
Wow, I can't imagine doing that. But I'm sure people would say the same about the garlic. And that for me is like the first line of defense. We just do that.
Yeah. And then the biggest thing at the core of all of this, and we're going to touch on this very quickly multiple times, is look, with what we do, the core of what we do, the adjustment has a huge neurological effect on the body.
Yes.
And how it performs, vital performance. So how about taking a chance on your health and maybe doing something a little different or looking into something that's very specific, very precise, and in a style of care that is, we use a lot of technology in here from,
yes, we do.
From digital x-ray to neurological scans and assessments, a neurological reproducible technique that we use to analyze each and every adjustment before you receive it. Because here's how it works. Every organ system in the body functions by the nervous system. I mean, take the nervous system out of the body, you're just dead fish laying on the floor, right? But why I say that in this regard too is because the nervous system has to help the immune system function. It drives the function of the immune system and in the organs and everything that goes along with it. So if each adjustment ties to each and every organ, cell, and tissue in the body, including digestive, including immune, including cardiovascular, and all of the systems of the body, why not make sure it's functioning properly, adjusting the spine accordingly that houses those nerves, takes the pressure off the nervous system, and get adjusted properly so you can function as close, if not 100%, especially going into a season. And then what's that do to set you up in more of an off-season style of life right now? It's like, holy cow, I started in October, November, really started to change my lifestyle because there's other things. We've already told you the dietary things, exercising things, the other thing. And you take care of your whole self and do those things. Imagine where you would be January 1st. Your resolutions will look so different.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you're a big resolutioner. I'm really not. I'm not.
I make one every year, but I try and make one that's attainable. I'm really bad at this. So don't feel bad if you're that person. We will work with you. We are not perfect people, but setting you up to make attainable goals and steps to reach them.
Yeah.
In your health, in your life, whatever that looks like for you, we're here to help with that. But so yes, my resolution, I already know what it's going to be. exercising more. I used to love getting on our stationary bike. I love a spin class. I eat them like it's an M&M. And I love that. I love the competition. I love someone barking orders at me. Yeah. I love that. And it's just something that I haven't done and I haven't been doing enough. And I know that I need to fit that into my routine. So that is going to be mine, is finding more time for me to do those things.
And that's a good point too, more on the empowerment side of things. And I am not an excuse maker. Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has them. They all stink, right? But and I'm not. So and that's what I want to encourage everybody too, because you talk a lot. You just mentioned a lot on time. Is it's like it's not that we don't have the time. It's that we just need to set the priority. Like yes, we all have to be at work, and you're driving from Illinois, and then I'm going back and forth to a lot of different things that I do as well. And it's just
you're
like, man, I didn't
have time. You're going back and forth to Illinois just on the weekend.
Yeah, just on Friday nights. Friday nights, yes, back and forth, sometimes twice. But it's let's prioritize ourselves a little differently and set that and make it non-negotiable, because it's not that we don't have enough time. It's like, how do some of these guys, man, I don't know how they do it. Well, guess what? They have the same 24 hours in the day. So we want to encourage you during this off-season potential here as we start to transition, strip some things down in the shop, look at what's broke, where the cracks are, fill the holes, and really figure out what it is you want going into the next season. Because guess what? Whether it's 3 months, 6 months from now, this whole thing starts over again, and you can really set yourself up for success. So start to prioritize what it is that's most important now. And if it is those spin classes, working out, I actually ran 2.5 miles this morning. I love running. It's hard because of the injury I have in my back. But I'll tell you what, already, I feel like every bit of phlegm and junk that was in my cardiovascular system, in my throat, I don't think I've ever been breathing so clear as I am now, because what that does, it was such a reminder for me. And I started geeking out about it as I was on my cool down walk, because I wanted to go 3 miles. I only made it 2.5. So my cool down walk started a little.
There's no shame in that. You did it.
And I'm thinking, man, I'm hawking this stuff up, and but it's a productive cough. And I'm like, man, why do I ever stop? Why do I ever stop? So take this time to really figure out what it is you want, and spend this off season getting back to you. And yes, the care we provide is essential. I'm going to be biased, but also what we do with a lot of our clients, and you touched on this very well, is we set goals. Yes, we want to get you adjusted. Yes, we want to see the structure of your nervous system, your spine. But we set goals with you. We hear you. We listen. And sometimes that's all we need. It's like, man, I just don't think anybody can level with me. I don't think anybody's hearing me, or anybody can help me over the hump. And we start to make it an us problem. Just know that we're here for you. It's so great to have a male and female doc dynamic that we can really relate. Some gals prefer a guy doc, some guys prefer a gal doc. Sometimes we just speak differently and we can empower. But throughout the course, whether you want to start eating better, you want to get your blood work on a different track, you have partial tears in your meniscus that you want to really just feel better, function better, you want to be preventative, we will sit down and talk through what it is you want and start to prioritize those things if you're willing to prioritize yourself.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people tend to take care of other people or take care of their things better than they take care of themselves. So it's time to prioritize your health, yourself, your goals, just like you would anyone else's.
Right. And it's very easy, and I always encourage people to be selfish. Take that time and be selfish, because everybody hears this all the time. I don't think they take it serious enough. But if you can't take care of yourself, you can't very well or to the greatest extent take care of everybody else.
Or just enjoy being present with them.
And so taking that time for you, and maybe it is that 6 a.m. class, and it's, I don't like waking up in the morning, but then you do it, and it's it feels so invigorating and like a weird euphoric of you get all of a sudden get to 11:30 in the morning, and you're still rip-roaring ready to go, and you were up at 4:30 and got your workout in. And it's take care of you, spend time on you, because you will tenfold be able to give back and better during this season. And I guarantee you, I love speaking on resolutions, even though I'm not a big resolutioner, because I know a lot of people are, and I just want to help. But you can set yourself up so far ahead of where you think you could ever be in that resolution season, starting now, and at least just prioritizing and starting to take those steps. Bless you.
Yes.
So.
Excuse me. 100%. Sorry.
See, point proven. This is why we start to take care of ourselves now. So like it happens to all of us. Like you're gonna have your down days. My daughter right now is going through it. Boys went through it a couple weeks ago. Like it's going to happen. How you recover, how you feed yourself depends on how drastic it's going to be. Much like a couple years ago, depending on your pre-existing conditions and how well you take care of yourself, depends on how bad this is going to be.
Hint, hint.
Yeah, same with this season right now, and we just want to help so many people through it early because I can tell you what. Coming full circle, back to my analogy. When that shop clears out in March or April next year and that car hits the trailer, it's going to be in the best shape it's ever been to sit in victory lane. And that is one of my goals. That's one of my priorities in working on that car when I set up for that next season of when it's actually go time. It's going to be ready to roll. But now I want myself ready to go. I want my family ready to roll in their health, in whatever extracurricular activities they want to do. Let's just take some time now and start to work on ourselves while we have that off season.
And how powerful would that be to be able to say that for yourself and your family? That in the best shape, ready to go, ready for the next season, ready to take on what comes next and be preparing for that. That's some powerful stuff right there.
We're giving you permission to kind of slow down. So if you need permission, here's your permission to, you know what, clear the deck. It's okay. Like just clear the deck, clean out the shop, get everything off the shelves, put it out. That's what I do. I put it all out in the driveway. Like Erica's like, what are you doing? I was like, it's going to be like 72 degrees today. Everything comes out of the shop, reset. It's okay to do that, right? And then prioritize those things. Don't feel bad. This doesn't work for me, or no is a full sentence, right? And really start to set yourself up, because now we can start to talk about even like okay, I'm clearing the deck. What do I do from here? Well, let's figure out a schedule. My biggest thing is an hour in the morning is worth 2 at night.
Yeah.
You can get 2 hours done in the morning, guaranteed. You're going to wake up better if you get up before the kids or before the alarm. You don't have something like, you have to get up now. It's like, oh, great, now I have to get up. Get up before that and start block scheduling your time.
Yeah.
And just figure it out. And just baby steps, block scheduling your time.
Yeah. I once heard someone say that 5 to 9 was her time and 9 to 5 was work time. And I thought that was so smart how she said, like, in the morning, that time was for her to do whatever she needed to do. Of course, she had to get ready for the day, but still taking care of herself, making sure she made food, actual food in the morning, and meal prepped for the day, and exercising, getting herself, maybe that to you looks like cracking open your Bible and reading a little bit and having your coffee. That time, that quiet time for yourself to reset and prepare for the day can be vital so that you can actually be very successful and set up your day the way that you want it.
Yeah, absolutely. And tie and link somebody into this with you, bring somebody along. Like, hey, going to start this thing early, going to start taking care of myself this fall. Would love for you to be an accountability partner. Would love to do this with you. I know you've talked about this as well. Can we do this together and hold each other accountable? Absolutely.
And I feel like that makes it's so much easier for you to move forward and keep those habits going.
And continuing, and the continuation of, it's like, this isn't just a week. And then fueling your body accordingly. It's like, and some people don't know where to go for this. It's like, I've heard coffee's good. I've heard coffee's bad. I've heard eat bread. I've heard don't eat bread. Eat more protein. Eat dark chocolate. Eat no chocolate. Drink wine. I love drinking wine. I'm going to drink it anyway. Like fueling our body. Those are things that we can consult about. Everybody's a little bit different. This is why we have the metabolic performance paneling in the office too. You want to get real serious about this. We have multiple people now doing our metabolic performance paneling, and it's based on blood work, and it gives you the proper supplementation. We can really make the correct dietary choices necessary, or help you make those choices based on even your blood work, so you can metabolize better and faster. So a lot of different things that you can do to start fueling your body is very important. Putting down the soda, drinking more water, and being very strategic with what you put in your body. Absolutely, because you have to think about, I had someone say this to me the other day. They're like, you have to think about, I am better than what that is that I'm putting into my body. Wow. I am better than that. And once you start thinking that way, you're like, you're right. It's not about want. It's not about, I like that. It's about, I deserve better than that. And you definitely do in your health. You deserve better than what you're doing. Yeah. So I loved that. And it ain't going to be perfect. It won't be perfect. But I think we all can make huge steps into where we want to be. You're not where you want to be, but you're not where you're going to be. And that can fall on either side of the fence. Yeah. You're going to change from this day forward, this day, a day from now, this day, 100 days from now. You are going to fall on one side of the fence because you're not where you want to be, but you're not where you're going to be. So if you want and going to be on a higher mountain, then get there, because you can definitely fall off the cliff and keep continuing down the hill as well. So it's
little
your
changes
choice.
over time can either build you up or they can be negative changes. So
1%
you have to
better
make
every
the
day.
decision that that's going to be a positive change for your family, for your health going forward.
Yeah, 1% better every day. There's 90-ish days. Wow, 90-ish days left in the year.
That's crazy. Don't say that.
You get 90%
I'm not
better.
prepared for that.
You start today and you got 1% better every day. You could be 90% better by the end of the year. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
But the most successful people in the world use block scheduling, so that's super important.
Yes, like
and
we
there's
said.
so many resources. Let us be a resource however we can. We've got groups that we're starting. We've got clientele that are asking more from us. The athletes I'm starting to see, that population's growing. Pregnancy side of things, and the women, that's starting to approach. And you also, like, so much, we've already started this, like innately, you've already started this conversation with something that you have coming up next month.
Yes, we have Well Woman Summit coming up at the beginning of November, and I'm super excited about it because it's all centered around preparing your body to be fueling your body differently, to be handling stress. I feel like stress is horrible for your body. We know that. It affects everything. But
Cortisol, danger.
yes, and we're going into a really exciting time of the year. You spend a lot of time with family, but stress increases at that time of the year too. You're stressed financially, you're stressed for time, you're stressed out about, you forgot somebody on the Christmas list and it's the 22nd of December.
Right. And I'll tell you what, guys are not thinking about that.
No.
And it's you gals are just so amazing at making sure everybody's in the loop and everybody's got their stuff. And for the most part, I think most gals are the ones organizing these things, and you all. So to have the timing of this Well Woman Summit coming out at the beginning of November, I think was a super God thing. It just happened like, hey, let's launch it in November. Okay, let's do that.
So that we can help you go into that season feeling more prepared with the tools and the support that you need from us or other providers locally, so that you can set yourself up and your family up for success.
Right. And it's definitely good practice, because it definitely wasn't for the season. It was for the woman who has to go through every season. And so it's just great how it ended up falling. And you can definitely, some of the things that you talk about on that Well Woman Summit is so great. Like, I get to experience it as a guy, because I'm sitting like right here most of the time. I'm like, man, that's good. I'm not going to let anybody know I took this from Well Woman Summit, but I'm going to apply that. But there's a lot of good content in there that I think is going to be, especially in this season, is going to be super clutch to be able to deploy into your life. So if you're a woman that wants to get tied in, we're not charging anything for it. You have some great speakers.
Yes.
This one is on us. There's more. We've had more speakers want to come on. More. There's six? How many speakers?
6 including me. And then, we're hoping to maybe make this a reoccurring event going forward every quarter and change up the focus.
We've leaked some of this content to a few ladies in the office too, and they're like, oh my God, this is a very underserved market. So happy you're speaking on this, to the point to where they've told other people and they're excited for it. But now we have other providers like, I love what you're doing. We need more. We're like, well, we can't have 35 of you on at the same time. So this is just going to be the start for that. There's been discussions even on the guys front. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Dr. Lindsay's like, do it. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Because we know it's going to be so great. And
Yeah.
I love that it is a virtual event and you can do it on your own time, because the last thing we want to do is add more stress to your life. We're trying to eliminate that with this summit. So giving you the option for your crazy schedules to still work it in there, blocking that time out for yourself, listening to it to improve your situation, your health, whatever it might be that you're looking to improve for you and your family, and making it attainable so that you can do that.
At the end of the day, right now is a great time to take care of yourself, start to take care of your family, be a little selfish. How can you take care of you to set your family up better going into the season? Take care of your family, take care of the kids. Let's start to do it differently. Take some action steps. There's so many people that we can help. If an evaluation makes sense, if this is the next logical step for you, we are here. Let us be a resource. If we have more resources that you need or that you're looking for or you want to know about, ask that too.
Yes.
We just want to be a resource, because now is a pivotal time to set yourself up in health for the rest of this year, going into next year. We care, and we want to see that happen. It's time to change how this thing works. Get your life back, set it back on track, take some time, enjoy the holiday season. Anything else?
I think that's it. I think we said it
Got
all.
it? I think we're just going to start wearing hats more often.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be a hat office.
I think we should put hats into rotation.
See ya!